Okay, so I want to talk about Brother Salman and his ex-wife Dunia. Brother Salman has made a bunch of videos around this topic, and he's been very, very clear that that the imams and everybody essentially is out to get him. And I want to address that. So here in the USA, you can have something called the Freedom of Information request for certain types of information, which essentially means you request the government to tell them, hey, I need this kind of information. This is the reason why I need it. And the government is required by law to provide that information to you. So that's what I did. I went to the Texas government and I asked them for this particular information, and it took a while, but eventually they did give me the information that I asked for. And so that's kind of how I got all the information that I have so far. Now, one thing I'll say right off the bat, that if I can do it, so can a lot of other people, and it's actually kind of shameful. There were a bunch of YouTubers who kind of got on this bandwagon of Brother Salman and Dunia, and without any sort of verification, they just made all these statements and covered it as if Brother Salman, whatever he said is the only truth and nothing else matters. That I think is a little shameful, because I think we all know in the Quran it says very explicitly, if you hear of a rumor, you gotta validate it. This was a pretty easy way to validate what Brother Salman was saying before jumping on the bandwagon. But a lot of them didn't do it. So some of the ones I did cover but didn't actually verify anything is Bro Haji is one, Ali Dawa is another one that I'm aware of, and I know there were more. It's been a while since I checked. With Bro Haji, it's a little, it's even worse, because what I've noticed about him is, in his channels, if you look at his videos, even his most recent one, like about the Shia, he actually deletes people's comments. He deletes people's comments who he doesn't agree with, which is like the shittiest thing you can do. There's one video about the Shia that he recently released. I commented on it, other brothers did too, basically questioning his faulty assumptions and everything. And what he did was he deleted my comment, he deleted the other brothers' comments, and then what he did was he actually disabled all the comments for the video. Kind of shows you the kind of person he is. Okay, so one thing I'll say is that Allah knows best the reality of the situation. All I can cover in this video is what I found out through the information requests and my own opinion on it. So again, I'm not God. I'm not omnipotent. I don't know who's right, who's wrong. There's many claims made in those reports, police reports. I don't know which ones of those are true, which ones of those are false. So I guess I can go over how what the first request was. So the first request I started with is the initial, the incident that in the first video Brother Salman talks about, where the police apparently came to his place because they'd had calls from people saying that this is that they had calls from somebody saying that Brother Salman was a danger to himself or somebody else. So that's the incident that I tried to get a report on. So I made a freedom of information request to the Austin PD, And what was immediately what they did immediately was they sent the legal department sent my request to the Texas AG saying they don't believe that it's a legitimate request, which is super surprising because normally it's just it's pretty standard fare, right? So it went to the Texas AG, and the next I heard of it was the AG responding back saying that body cam footage is out of the picture because I did not provide a good enough reason for why I needed to access it. I think if I was to make the request again, I should be able to get it. But back then, I guess I missed some key points that are needed for them to be able to request the body cam footage. But they did release the police report with some redactions. So some of the private information was redacted, but still, it's amazing how much information is actually still in there in the police reports. Basically, you have access to like Dunia's and Salman's phone numbers, addresses, things like that. Okay, so when I got the report back, there were a couple of things that were kind of interesting in the report, and that's what I'm gonna cover in this video. I think if people want more videos, I can release more information, but I'd rather release the minimum necessary to convince folks that don't just believe everything you hear online on YouTube, because there's a context. There's a context, and there are like there is like additional information that folks will try and hide and not cover. Alright, so this is the page, the relevant page from the first police report. You can pause the screen to read through it. I'm just going to call out the things that struck me as interesting. So one thing you'll see from reading this report is that Dunia and Salman have been having this back and forth for a while before this swatting incident as well. So Salman has, I believe, he's made police reports against Dunia's brother, and I believe Dunia has made multiple ones against Salman, statements or reports or whatever you want to call it. So that's the kind of stuff which makes me a little bit weary, right? But then if you read this report, the other thing that becomes clear is, I'm going to read the relevant section here. It's about 1/3 from the top. Sergeant McLean advised that the number that called the non-emergency police number came from a Text Now app. Upon an accurate search, probably some internal tool that they have, the phone number used by the reporting party did not have any subscriber information. So the swatting incident phone call came from a Text Now app, and we did not have any subscriber information. Now, if you skip a few paragraphs down below in the next section that's relevant, it says Ateequi, which is the last name for Salman, let Officer Meyer check his phone. There were several messaging and communication apps such as WhatsApp, Signal, etc. None of the apps were signed into. They did not have any saved usernames or passwords. It should be noted that Ateequi had the Text Now app on his cell phone. There was no username or password information, and there was no access to prior conversations. This bit I find exceedingly strange. I mean, it's obviously not a smoking gun or anything like that, right? It's possible that Salman keeps his messaging apps and other apps signed off, but that is not a what a normal person would do, right? Now, Salman is into the technology industry, so he understands all of this, right? If you think about your own phone, do you have WhatsApp? If you use it, do you have it signed out
off? Do you have like if you have Text Now or any of these other apps, Signal, do you have those signed off right now, signed out, or do you have them logged in? Do you leave them logged in? So why would Salman have all of these apps logged out of? I mean, that kind of explains why he's so eager to give it to the police officer, right? Because it's like he knows there's nothing there. And that's why the officer also made a note of it, that Text Now was also on his cell phone, but it's logged out. So there's no information he can get from those. Again, very circumstantial, doesn't prove anything, but it's highly suggestive to me. The other thing I will call your attention to is that I did blank out a few lines at the bottom. I mean, if you read the context, it's pretty clear what those lines are about. But I just didn't want to share it over YouTube. And also, if you look at the overall report, it's pretty clear that Dunia also has lots of grievances against Shuaib, including that he's perhaps controlling, perhaps there's domestic violence involved. At least that's the claim from Dunia. I think that's part of the reason why these imams don't want to get involved in this, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so this is one of the other reports that was filed by Dunia against Salman. It's an online report. You can see I've blanked out a few things which I don't really want to reveal. And if you read this, you can pause the screen, or I'm going to quickly read through it. It paints a different picture of Salman, right? Salman may have been wrong. The community the community leaders may have abandoned him, but he has this other side which he has not shown anyone, right? And without these police reports and records, you wouldn't know this. Now, could Dunia be lying here? Sure, but why go to the trouble of going online and reporting it? I don't know, maybe. But still, it's something that she's claiming as opposed to what Salman is claiming in his videos, right? Okay, so I'm going to quickly read this. I'm currently going through a divorce, and my husband has been harassing me, cyberbullying me, and harassing anyone I have called a text message since we got married. He deleted all my files on Dropbox, emailed all my contacts and subscribers, disabled my websites, and put up a note saying this website has been taken down due to ethical issues. Well, that's kind of controlling, right? Okay, so he has come to my parents' house where I am staying and parked outside. He knocks on the door and demands we open. He texts me constantly all night, calls me even though I made it clear I don't want to talk to him. He calls and texts my parents. He changed my passwords, went on to my online school and sent all my students email. He has threatened to destroy my life multiple times, threatened to put XYZ. I'm a teacher and public figure, and he made it clear that he will destroy my chances of ever teaching again in the Muslim community by leaking personal and private intimate information about our relationship. He calls my friends astaghfirullah. I mean, look at, if even half of what she's saying is true, it doesn't does not paint a very flattering picture of Salman. He keeps emailing me. He reached out to my school and spoke to my teachers and colleagues. That again, I mean, there's a few things in here which can be easily verified. Right, so there's other police reports kind of like this too, back and forth between Dunia and Salman over various things. I can go into detail over those as well, but there's really no need. All I wanted to do with this video is to let you know that there is another side to the story. You have obviously the right to say that whatever Salman is saying is 100% true. What's in these police reports is all made up by Dunia, and go on with your life, right? Or you can be a little bit more intelligent about it and say, well, Salman is telling me one side of the story. He neglected to mention any of the stuff that's covered in this video, and maybe Dunia does have some grievances too, right? Maybe it's not quite so one-sided as the impression you'd get by looking at the Salman's videos. And also the other bigger point I want to make is, it's really unfortunate, but a lot of the YouTube duat and YouTube personalities in the Muslim world, they are in it for various reasons, right? So it's shocking that they would not follow through on Salman's claims and try and do some basic investigation into the issue before creating their videos and just disseminating all this information and just getting into this one camp without any consideration for what the other side might be going through or what the other side's position or view is on these things.